long ago, in the green hills of Ireland, there lived a young boy named Fionn. Fionn was a curious boy who loved to explore the woods and streams of his village. One day, as he was wandering along the banks of the River Boyne, he noticed a great salmon swimming upstream. The salmon was huge, its scales glinting in the sunlight, and Fionn couldn't help but wonder what made it so special. As he watched, the salmon leapt up a waterfall, its tail thrashing wildly. Fionn followed it, climbing up the slippery rocks until he reached the top of the waterfall. There, he saw the salmon lying in a shallow pool, gasping for air. Without a second thought, Fionn reached down and scooped up the salmon in his arms. As he held it, he felt a strange energy coursing through his body. Suddenly, he knew things he had never known before, the secrets of the universe, the history of the world, and the meaning of life itself. The salmon, it seemed, was no ordinary fish, it was the salmon of knowledge, a creature said to possess all the wisdom of the ages. And now, Fionn was its master. For years, Fionn kept the salmon of knowledge safe, learning from its infinite wisdom and using its insights to guide his people. He became a great leader, renowned for his intelligence and insight, and his people loved him for it. But one day, a jealous druid named Fionn heard of the salmon of knowledge, and he knew that he had to possess it. He set out on a quest to find Fionn and the salmon, determined to take the creature for himself. When he found Fionn, Fionn challenged him to a battle of wits. If Fionn could answer all of his questions correctly, he could keep the salmon. But if he failed, Fionn would take it for himself. The two men sat down together, and Fionn began to ask his questions. But to his surprise, Fionn answered each one with ease, drawing on the knowledge and insight of the salmon to guide him. In the end, Fionn was defeated, and Fionn was allowed to keep the salmon of knowledge. And so, he continued to lead his people with wisdom and grace, always mindful of the power that he held in his hands. As the years passed, Fionn grew old, and eventually he knew that his time had come. He called his closest companions together, and he gave them the salmon, instructing them to guard it carefully and to pass on its knowledge to the next generation. And so, the legend of the salmon of knowledge lived on, inspiring generations of Irishmen and women to seek out wisdom and knowledge, and to use it for the good of all. BC. What were the questions that Fionn asked in his battle of wits? The details of the questions that Fionn asked in his battle of wits with Fionn are not recorded in the original mythological sources. It is possible that the questions varied from telling to telling of the story or were left open to interpretation by the storyteller. However, it is generally understood that Fionn posed a series of difficult and obscure questions to Fionn, hoping to stump him, and claim the salmon of knowledge for himself. Despite the difficulty of these questions, Fionn was able to answer them all correctly, drawing on the wisdom and insight that he had gained from